Thank you.
I'm Dr. Art Cribbs, pastor of San Marino United Church of Christ. I want to read to you a statement, and then all of us will be available to answer any questions that you may have. The decision rendered by the California Supreme Court to uphold Proposition 8, banning marriages between same-sex couples, requires a response from progressive Christians. For more than 20 years, I've had the honor of officiating wedding ceremonies across the United States and here in my home state of California. As an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ, I have conducted premarital counseling sessions with couples who are committing their lives to each other. I enjoy sharing in the sacred and almost always joyous exchange of wedding vows. I really do love doing weddings. Over the years, I have officiated marriages of Muslims and Christians, Hindu, Jews, Buddhists, and non-religious persons. This past weekend, I served a beautiful couple. She is from Cambodia, he is from Scotland and Great Britain. Marriage is an occasion for rejoicing and celebrating. It is a time when two people embody the true meaning of love, giving their lives to each other in faithful commitment to honor and protect one another, to share the ups and downs in life, in sickness and in health, in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow, for as long as they both shall live. Families and friends surround couples and vow to support them with love, compassion, and a continuing encouraging presence. Marriage is about more than two people. It symbolizes God's love for humanity. It is the acknowledgement that we all need each other. In our separate, individualized lives, we join together in holy matrimony to embrace the fullness of life. We come together as one in unity and fidelity. At its very best, marriage is the fulfillment of our quest in the pursuit of happiness. Love is the binding force that holds two people together. Love is that divine element which the Apostle Paul describes in 1 Corinthians as patient and kind, never jealous or envious, never boastful or proud, never haughty or selfish or rude. Love does not demand its own way. It is not irritable or touchy. It does not hold grudges and will hardly even notice when others do it wrong. It is never glad about injustice, but rejoices whenever truth wins out. Today, it is love that has been put on trial. It is love that suffers the fate of injustice. It is love that stands in the glare of malicious assault. In the sacred covenant, loving couples share their love openly as a reminder of God's love for us all. Those whom God has joined together, let no one attempt to separate. Not even the California Supreme Court or the vote of a majority who dare to rain tyranny on a minority. In the aftermath of our state's highest court's ruling to ban same-sex marriage, it is my personal and painful decision not to perform another wedding ceremony in the state of California until discrimination against same-sex couples is ended. This decision does not come without sacrifice, but it is necessary for my ministry to have any integrity. I must stand in solidarity with men, women, and families who suffer and are unjustly hurt because of discrimination now protected by Proposition 8. Our state constitution is a document that protects the rights of all citizens. It increases the civil liberties for the people of the state of California. This week, the stain of shame marred our state constitution, and the California Supreme Court failed to protect a vulnerable minority from the tyranny of the majority. I will not conduct another wedding in California until this wrong has been corrected. Reverend, how many religion is one thing, but when you pass the boundary and turns it into civil law, you have trespassed against the civil liberties of the people who are not part of your faith tradition. That is wrong. And we do not want to be party to any activity that harms individuals and families because someone doesn't like what that person does or who that person is. That is wrong. We will not be party to it. And I believe when this issue comes back on the ballot, perhaps as early as 2010, the people of California will affirm love, will affirm fidelity, and will affirm justice for all. I am hoping that within a year and a half, this matter will be corrected in the state of California without encumbrance, and I can again perform what I enjoy doing most, bringing people together in loving matrimony.
Who are you more disappointed with, Prop 8 or the court who upheld it?
This never should have gone on the ballot for the people of California. We should not have our civil liberties dependent upon a simple majority vote. If that were the case, all we need to do is rehearse our history as a people. In the South, we had slavery for years because the majority of the South believed in slavery. We cannot depend on a majority for the equal rights of a minority. This never should have been an issue placed on the ballot for the people of California to determine the civil liberties of the citizens of this state. It is wrong. Not even the state legislature would do that. The state constitution, like the U.S. Constitution, is to protect our civil liberties and to enlarge and expand our civil liberties, not to restrict, reduce, or eliminate. What happened in November of 2008 was a travesty in the state. The people of California were asked to do the unspeakable by taking away the rights of persons in a minority who cannot defend themselves fully and completely in a majority-dominated society.
Reading the court decision, it seems that several of the justices were personally opposed to Proposition 8, and yet they upheld it based on the law. Do you take any solace in that and the fact that there's an effort to try to get this issue revisited by the U.S. Supreme Court?
I was in San Francisco when the Supreme Court heard arguments. The issue before the Supreme Court was very narrow. Did Proposition 8 affirm or amend the Constitution of California, or did it revise the Constitution of California? I'm not an attorney, but I believe fundamentally when you put language in a document that is to protect civil liberties, when that language restricts, reduces, and eliminates civil liberties, it is an unconstitutional act. But that was not the question. I believe it was a revision personally because the intent of the document had been changed. Unfortunately, in the state of California, a simple majority at the polls can amend this Constitution. It's been done over 100 times since California has been an incorporated state. At the same time, it takes a supermajority, 2/3 of the state legislature, to pass a budget. We recognize the severity of that kind of travesty in Sacramento. If you can change a constitution with a simple vote, but you cannot balance your state budget or even have a state budget with a simple majority of the state legislature, we have a profound problem. We call upon the state of California's legislature, both the Assembly and the State Senate, to correct the harm that this process has now created. We need to change how legislation happens in the state. I believed in the past the initiative process was very good, but I've seen over and over again in 1994 with Proposition 187, I saw it again with Proposition 209, and now we see it with Proposition 8. The initiative process does not work for all the people of California. The state of California needs to correct that.
Did you discuss it with your congregation?
Our congregation is about 60 people. The United Church of Christ is 1.3 million. We have over 6,000 congregations in the United States.